think I need more of a, oh, now I gotta set this all back up right. Make sure I am where I wanna be in the frame. That's almost about right. Let's start over. Well, guys, it's finally here. The Habit series, a 2-part video series on habits. Is a series only 2? Kind of like a series should be 3. Could I turn this into 3 videos? Maybe, but for right now, it's 2. Atomic Habits by James Clear. I have seen this book pop up all over YouTube. So many reviews on this book. There's even a video on how one of my favorite YouTubers used this book to learn how to cut onions better. I'm gonna put a link to that video in the description, and listen, I know I always say that, but this time for real, there will be a link. But anyhow, once I saw everybody else talking about this book, I knew it was a book I wanted to read, so I decided to put the book on my to-read list. But then while doing research for another video, while doing research on the What is Self-Development video, I came across a video of James Clear going over the book himself and covering some of the key points, and that's when I knew I had to read this book immediately. And now I'm sharing the results with you. James Clear, he believes that the quality of your life is correlated with the quality of your habits. And listen, if you are living a stellar life and you have stellar habits, then this video is not for you. But most of us, I think the reason why we're here is because we want to improve in some way. So one thing we need to do is improve our habits. So what I want to begin doing is covering some of the basics. Let's start with definitions. Didn't I tell y'all every time I make a video, they start running water every time? Can y'all hear it? Every time. Back to the video. Atomic. Atomic has 2 definitions. The first being an extremely small amount of a thing. And the second being an immensely powerful thing. See, so you can see how we can take those 2 things and we're going to start doing small changes now that will amount to immense change later for us. And we're going to do that by just changing small things we do daily. I think that is so powerful. Are y'all hearing this? Are y'all feeling this? It was John Maxwell, I believe that. Hold on, let me look it up. Right quick. Hold on. Okay, yes, John Maxwell. He said, you'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is going to be found in your daily routines. I've always loved that quote because that took my wildest dreams and it brought it within days' reach. It made me realize if I just do something simple every single day, I can do whatever I want to do. Let's get to our second definition, and that's the definition of the word habit, right? And a habit is something you do every day, something you do routinely, and is also an automatic response. Those are your definitions for habits. So you can see here that the atomic habit is a small, powerful thing you do regularly, right? Now, it's going to be important for you guys to remember to note that anything you do regularly is considered a habit. So that means taking off your shoes as soon as you come in the house, that's a habit. Driving to work in the morning, that's a habit. Remember that and you'll be able to make larger impacts on your day, on your life. The next basic idea I want you to realize is that goals are overrated. We spend so much time focusing on goals, setting goals, without actually realizing what's more important is our action plan. See, a goal is a result, but in order to get a result, you have to do some work. So when it comes to goals, I want you to set them and then forget them. Now, you may be thinking, this is crazy. This goes against everything I ever heard about goals. You're supposed to set goals. Of course you are. But let's think about a time when you had to take an exam and you want to get a premium A because you are a premium person, right? Well, you didn't get that A by simply focusing on getting the A. You got the A by doing the work necessary, by reading the necessary preparation tools, by studying the necessary amount of time. I mean, some of us didn't have to study all that much. but you get my point. The point is focusing on the A is not what got you to A. It was simply the catalyst to get you working toward it. So when it comes to goals, set them and then forget them. The last basic idea I want you to take with you is not very basic at all, right? I want you to switch from a what mindset to a who mindset. And let me give you an example of what this means. Let's say you decide you want to run a marathon, 26.2 miles. That's what you're going to do. People do it all the time. So you say, you know what, I'm next. I'm gonna run a marathon. You go get you some nice workout shoes, some nice running shoes, and you decide, hey, let's hit the track. And you can barely run a quarter mile. And now you're sitting here and you're thinking, wow, how am I gonna run 26.2 miles or 104 quarter miles? So you're looking out at that end again and thinking about what you wanna do and realizing how hard it's gonna be. And now you're getting discouraged. But if we switch to a who mindset, then the marathon is not important. What's important is that you want to become a runner. Now, how much you got to run today to become a runner? What's the set amount of miles or minutes you have to run every day to become a runner? I believe, and James believes, if you run more days than you don't, then you are a runner. That's what makes you a runner, because you run. So if you run 4 days out of the week, every week, you are now a runner, even if that's for 2 minutes. See, but now, if your goal is simply to be a runner and you run every day and you get better every day, then the marathon happens automatically, right? So remember, let's not think about what we want to do, and let's think about the type of person we need to become to get that, because that's what's going to be most important in the long run. Now that we got the basic ideas covered, let's get into the laws. There are 4 laws to habit change. And the first law is make it obvious. One of the easiest ways to make it obvious is to change your environment, to make your cues more obvious. I've talked about this on this channel before, but as a quick review, if you want to start reading more, maybe put your book on top of the remote control or put a book in front of the Xbox. If you really want to toughen it up, maybe remove the TV altogether and turn the TV stand into a book stand. See, when you can see these things, when they're in your natural pattern, when you're going to bump up against them naturally, you're going to be cued. Oh, there's that book I said I've been wanting to read. That's one way to make it obvious. If you want to go for a run after work, put your running shoes somewhere where you can see them as soon as you walk in the house. If you want to level that up, pack your gym bag before you leave in the morning, take it with you, and when you get out of your car to go into work, sit the gym bag in your driver's seat. That way, when you get back in your car after work, you have to touch the bag to get in the car, and that is a cue for you to go on that run before you even get home. Because when you get home, you may be like, maybe not. So keep that in mind. Another thing you can do to make it obvious is to habit stack. That's when you take a habit that you already have and you attach it to a new habit. So let's say you want to start journaling more and you already have a habit of reading daily. Well, then you create a verbal cue. You say, when I finish my reading, I start journaling. And then to bring in the make it obvious environment cue, what you might consider doing is keeping the book you want to read and your new journal and your new pen together at all times. It's that simple. It sounds very easy, but there is one crucial step that I'm going to get to at the end of the video. Law number 2 is to make it attractive. The more you enjoy doing something, the easier it is for you to do in the future. Now, one way we do this is with framing. I did a video on framing very early on in the channel, maybe the third or fourth video I put up. But this is the idea again for those who don't remember it. Let's talk about saving money, for example. That is often thought of as a sacrifice, as something that is restrictive, something that takes away. But see, if you learn to frame it different, you realize the money you save today gives you more money tomorrow. Very simply put, if you save $100 this month, next month you got an extra $100. You are not losing anything at all. You are gaining, but you have to flip your framework to realize that saving money is not restrictive, but in fact, it's giving you more. Now, another thing you can do to make it attractive is to attach it to something you already like doing. This is what we call habit bundling, which is almost similar to habit stacking, but a little bit different. So let's say you know that you want to create a habit of once a week going over the household finances, and you have not been doing it. You've been saying for months you're going to do it every week. You have not done it. You are overbalancing your checkbook because you was not managing your money properly. But you can't seem to lock this habit down. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a habit you already have, which is on Fridays, you get home from work, you take a hot, luxurious bath. Habit already have. Now you're gonna bundle in your finance habit, right? So I come home from work on Fridays and I love to take that bath. But before I take that bath, I need to do my financial homework. Once I do my financial homework, then I can get to the bath, right? You see, and what is supposed to happen is you're supposed to start looking forward to doing that financial overlook, because you know after you do that, you get to do the thing you really love, which is take that hot, long, luxurious bath every Friday. That is a habit bundle. Give it a try. Listen, I know they tell you, do what you can to get started, but it's time for me to level up, because I bought this cheap light to get started and it just turns off halfway through my videos. And look at the difference in this footage. Look how bad this footage looks compared to when I have my lighting. So let me see if I can figure out how to get this lighting fixed, and then we will be back into the conclusion of the video. So what I think is happening is the light is powered by USB, which is not the best thing in the world. And I'm using this small 5-watt brick to power it. Now this comes from Apple, so that means it's very smart, and it gets very hot when this is plugged into it. And I think what's happening is the brick is turning itself off because it thinks it's overheating, which is then turning off the light. So this is a different brick. If I plug this in, that means I figured it out and I'm smart. I'm already smart, but smarter, more premiumer. All right, here we go. All right, let's see if that works. Power. Ha, that's it. Okay, so that covers the basics, Law 1 and Law 2. Pretty simple, right? In fact, you may be thinking, if all you have to do is bundle habits, why isn't everybody already living their best life? Well, there is one key step. You have to actually do it. Yeah, these things are easy to implement, but you have to implement them. If you are not getting in your reps, is what James calls it. If you are not lifting your habit weights, your habits will not stick. There is no workaround for actually doing the work. So yes, simple habits can make your habits simple and give you powerful results. But if you don't have enough willpower to start the habit, that's where you're gonna miss. That is where I also would recommend reading James Clear's Atomic Habits yourself. In fact, I will put a link in the description to places where you can buy the book, because I think, yes, I want to give you some quick tips here that will help you now, but reading that book will be so much more profound and you will get so much more from it. And also, I think it's only right. I'm using this man's book to make a YouTube video. I should at least recommend that you buy his book. Don't that make sense? I think it does. Anyway, until the next video, live life, live now with passion and purpose. Remember, your worth is undeniable. I love you. Start making some habits, and I will see you in 2 weeks with part 2. So I take that to mean like we really want you to leave out here, but you technically can stay.